9:21 and the morning edition is live. On today's show, the island of Bimini under new emergency orders. Retirees honored for their commitment to service. Team Bahamas named for the Tokyo Olympics. And landlord is in the house. So let's start the morning off right. And it's time to show off your national pride. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning edition. I'm LaDawn Davis.
I'm gonna show off my voice this morning because I get landlord, and so you know I can't do it as good as him, but I'm gonna try.
So he's gonna teach you a little something.
Teach me a little something. Good morning, LaDawn. You look very Bahamas-y this morning.
Yeah, this is like an old shirt that I told you about. I kept from 2019. So yeah. So what's happening?
Just a relax. Look, I just can't wait to get off and just relax. I've had a long week. Just want to unwind and just have a good weekend. The rain is out there. That's going to help me relax. I just reading on that.
So you're taking us all to lunch?
You know, we can go out later on this evening. You know, you don't have to be home until 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
so we go and unwind later on this evening.
Okay.
You up for it?
Yeah, I'm up for it. I'm sure everybody else is up for it.
Don't believe her.
So what's the trivia?
Yeah, and once again, as we continue to celebrate July 40th anniversary, this is the Independence Month, and we have a nice Bahamian school bag for you guys. So there, and here's the trivia question for this morning. Which island have settlements called the Bluff? You can call 502-3870, 502-3870. Which islands have settlements called the Bluff? Do you know?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, but you're not eligible for the answer, and the phones are ringing. But guess who's back from a big 6-week vacation? Our Lloyd Island.
Well, it's a great start to your Friday morning. Although it's very wet, good morning, LaDawn and Fisher, and good morning, Bahamas. Today, around the country, specifically in areas of the central and northern Bahamas, we've gotten reports of some rainy conditions that are going to be affecting many persons, particularly motorists. Now, we want to first start this morning by advising those persons along the coastal regions of many islands that the surf is going to be nice and busy. You can expect some possible tornadic activity as well, according to Met officials. And so, of course, you want to be aware of that. But inland, of course, we want to also advise persons that there is a possible threat of flooding in low-lying areas. So persons coming out of those areas should be alert to that as well. But we're going to get into details on that in a moment. But first, we turn to Corporal Patrick Kemp from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, painting a picture of traffic developments over the past 24-hour period.
Good morning, Mr. Island, and good morning, Bahamas. And you're absolutely correct. During this time, Mr. Island, we should expect, during this rainy season, the surface of the streets to be not safe and be wet. And in most cases, in some locations, saturated with water. And I'm going to encourage drivers to continue to drive with due care and attention. Within the last 24 hours, we have had some 20 accidents. We still have to date 4 persons who are still hospitalized as a result of those accidents. And I just want to say to those drivers of Mr. Island, in terms of the defective vehicle, Mr. Island, is considered a vehicle that has a manufacturing fault or a defect for low maintenance. In that case, you, the owner, will be responsible for that vehicle. Case in point, for persons who are driving with their windshield wipers not working properly, that's a concern. You need proper visibility, especially during this kind of time while you're traversing through the streets. And I know it could be rough around this kind of time because of what's been happening with the pandemic and all, but it is an investment for your safety, the safety of your family, to get those air conditions fixed in those vehicles. And that's another problem, because when you're driving in your vehicle and your vehicle fogs up, it's still low visibility. You put yourself at risk for getting in an accident.
Well, of course, safety is always first. Finally, before we wrap up here on the traffic report, talk to us a little bit about what advice you can offer to motorists, particularly along areas like this, going onto the highway where it's obviously wet. What advice can you offer to them?
Well, especially at this location, at this roundabout here, Blue Hill Tonic, I'll encourage the drivers to pay special attention especially when you are utilizing the roundabout. Select your lane before you reach the roundabout. It's very important. And because a lot of persons are still crossing persons in one lane, getting a fender bender, and then in some cases it turns out to be back and forth between those drivers as to who's right or wrong. On the highway, we don't expect, because it's a highway, for you to drive excessively fast. To stay within the speed limit is 25 miles per hour within the city. Outside of the city is 30 miles per hour. And when you don't see a sign, according to the law, you should go at a speed of 25 miles per hour.
And of course, a final reminder, persons entering or leaving the highway, you want to be mindful of those drivers in front and behind you. Safety, again, as Officer Camp mentioned, is essential on days like today. Of course, it's my first day back after being on vacation for several weeks. It's great to be back. Fish and Ladon, you guys are back in the studio in your dry seats. And of course, you're going to have a great day. Good day, Bahamas.
As you can see, the streets are there are wet, 73 degrees, mostly cloudy. We are waking up to winds south at 10 miles per hour, humidity 83%. A low to mid-level troughing combined with streaming tropical moisture will continue to support unsettled weather over the northwest and central Bahamas. For all areas, weather cloudy to occasionally overcast, warm and humid with scattered showers, rain and isolated thunderstorms in the northwest and central Bahamas, partly cloudy, hot and humid, with a chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms in the southeast Bahamas. Daytime high temperature today, 88 degrees Fahrenheit, overnight low, 73. As we look ahead to Saturday, a thunderstorm in the afternoon, daytime temperature 90, at night dipping to 79. Sunday, rain in the forecast as well. Thunderstorm in spots, 89 and 80 your day and nighttime temperatures.
Bimini has been placed on a 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew following a sudden spike in COVID-19 cases that has also led to the competent authority imposing social gathering restrictions. Funeral services are to be held at the gravesite only, and that's limited to a maximum of 10 people, not including officiants and funeral service workers. 10 is also the number of attendees permitted at weddings, including the officiant. All attendees must wear masks. Wedding receptions are prohibited. Church services can be held daily between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. as long as they're in keeping with social distancing and other health safety protocols. All bars are prohibited from operating. Groups are limited to a maximum of 5 people on beaches and parks. Hotel and cruise ship guests are to remain on the premises during the curfew period, only moving between the hotel and marina to the extent that the marina is part of the hotel's premises. A health team is also being deployed to Bimini, not only to carry out vaccinations, but to provide assistance to the island's health team. 36 new cases of COVID-19 reported in the Ministry of Health's latest release, 31 here in New Providence and the other 5 over in Grand Bahama. The national COVID-19 count stands at 12,735. 2 of the New Providence cases have a travel history within the past 14 days. Of the new cases, 25 are males and 11 females. Hospitalizations have jumped once again to 46, 44 moderately ill and 2 in the intensive care unit. There are 800 active cases with 14 new recoveries. The COVID-19 death toll remains at 246. The Bahamas government and Chinese officials have an ongoing dialogue when it comes to the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic, resulting in the Bahamas receiving COVID-19 vaccinations from China.
They are proven effective even against the mutated virus. But of course, if you make a different scientific assessments, then maybe you will come up with different figures. I think for the general public, we don't need to mind so much about these efficacy rates, as long as these vaccines are approved by the WHO and by the governments of different countries. I think the best vaccine is the vaccine you can get in your arm. I think many experts are saying that. Yes, I think so far Chinese vaccines have been proven both safe and efficacious.
Occupancy numbers are up at the Baha Mar resort, and that may mean more employment opportunities in the months ahead.
We're opening up our Marcus here, our Marcus Fish and Chop House at Baha Mar. That will add another almost 200 jobs. And that's opening up this next week. So as we continue to open up new venues or venues that we have closed down, as we start to open those up for the winter season, we'll start adding those back as well. We have no more associates on furlough. We have no more associates having on ex gratia payments. So all of our associates are back.
The multi-million-dollar beachfront water park at the Baha Mar resort called Baha Bay marks the completion of a significant milestone in the resort's plan to redefine the vacation experience. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, was on hand for the official opening, which took place on Thursday.
Baha Mar is helping to lead our recovery. It is fitting that we are here on the first day of a new month to inaugurate at Baha Bay, Baha Mar's beachfront water park, which resides on 15 acres near Aqua and Jade Waters. Baha Bay has created over 500 direct job opportunities and continues to search for enthusiastic and ambitious associates through the Baha Mar Academy.
Another police-involved shooting taking place on the streets of the capital last evening, this time in the Coconut Grove community. Press Liaison Officer ASP Audley Peters spoke with the media on the scene.
Officers observed a young man brandishing a firearm. When he saw the officers, he pointed his firearm in their direction. One of the officers discharged his service weapon at the suspect, hitting him multiple times. The suspect then dropped the weapon that was in his possession, and the officers then in turn arrested the suspect. EMS was summoned to the scene and escorted the suspect to the hospital, where his condition is not known at this time. We're pleased to say that that firearm was recovered along with 11 rounds of ammunition.
Bahamians being urged to take advantage of the VAT hurricane supplies holiday. It runs July 9th through July 31st. Only items purchased locally are eligible for the exemption, so be sure to stock up on essential items.
Well, Team Bahamas has been named for the Tokyo Olympics. Track and field will be made up of Tania Gaither, Shawnee Miller-Uibo, Brian Bethel, Anthony Strawn, Padria Seymour, Devin Charlton, Samson Colebrook, Stephen Gardner, Jamal Wilson, and Donald Thomas, who is still waiting an invitation. A quarter will consist of Joanna Evans, Isaac Bastian, and Laura Morley, who also waits an invitation. President of the Bahamas Olympic Committee, Romel Fisher-Knowles, likes the makeup of this team.
This team is no less talented than any team that we've carried at any time in the past. Some may tend to differ, but our expectation in terms of medals are the same. With some pluses on our side. We have two big horses in Devin and Padria. Joanna, anything could happen. I don't have to tell you, in sports, anything could happen at the right time, at the right place. But we feel good. And we feel really good about what our chances are in terms of medaling at the Olympics. And I think this team has just as good a chance of eclipsing the amount of medals that we've ever won in any one Olympics.
And when we come back, an educator honored for 40 years of exemplary service. So keep it locked.
As the Bahamas celebrates another independence anniversary on July 10th, the morning team will mark the occasion in grand style. Whether it's catching crabs in Andros, growing pineapples in Eleuthera, swimming with the pigs down in Exuma, or raising mutton on Long Island, the morning edition will showcase it all, but with your help. So send us a video of what your island produces to kanoshiSims@gmail.com.
Book solid, but if you're lucky, you may just get a room or transportation to soak in the best the island has to offer. So far, the hotel sector on picturesque Harbor Island has had a great season, and hoteliers say a further uptick in occupancy levels is in the foreseeable future. Bahamas General Manager for 11 Experience at Bahama House, Anton Brown, told the morning team yesterday that despite the impact of COVID-19, visitors are still eager to travel to the island.
We are seeing double-digit growth in our occupancies above 2019. Our RevPAR has had a really good spike, and our pacing for the remainder of the year is well ahead of where we were in 2019. And the reason I referenced 2019 because 2019 was an actual banner year. So we are looking very, very good. We have actually been able to bring on a few more staff because unfortunately during the pandemic of last year, we had to furlough a few employees.
As the country gets back to normal due to the high threat of the coronavirus, thousands of young Bahamians are on the hunt for employment opportunities. But before nabbing that vacant position, there are a few things they must consider before conducting an interview. Executive Director of the National Training Agency, Gadvin McDonald, with more on the interview process.
We say to young persons preparing for an interview, make sure that you have a well-drafted resume and cover letter. Show up to the interview appropriately dressed and looking the part, willing to demonstrate great level of self-confidence, and make sure that you do some research on the company that you're being interviewed with.
Now, yesterday I went into my old stomping grounds, the St. John's College Jolly Green Giants, and when you watch this story, you may say, why does Fisher and his former teacher look so much alike?
I am retiring after 40 years of stellar service, they say, but I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Geraldine Roma has been a fixture in Giant Land for 40 years, the teacher who has mentored thousands.
Well, what stands out for me is when I see my students bringing their children back to St. John's College. It tells me that we're doing something right at, in Giant Land, because now I've taught grandchildren and maybe 1 or 2 great-grandchildren. So it makes me very proud of my Giants.
40 years at one institution says a lot about her dedication.
Kind of hard to just walk away, because my main thing is always thinking of the children, what's going to happen if I leave or whatever, but there comes a time when you have to pack it up.
I know you see some of your students out on the road and some may be watching this. Miss Roma still look the same from I was here 20, 30 years ago.
Yes, I hear that all the time. Miss Roma, you haven't changed. But when you're happy and you're contented with life, you tend to keep a smile on your face all the time.
Janine Lewis is one of our former students.
It's been an opportunity for me to be a grade 3 student with Mrs. Roma, and now as a principal, it's definitely been an honor because she has imparted knowledge. Her wisdom has led us, and it's a great honor to be here with her. In this profession, we stay young because of our children. So she's been in it 40 years, but she still only looks 40. So it's our children, our love for the children, and that she definitely loves her children. She is an all-around person, and she supports us in everything we do. So we'll miss that most.
So is Ms. Roma ready to ride off into the sunset?
Thought I would be ready for retirement, but there'll be many times, that I probably will have to come back, and help with something. I'm always into projects. So I don't see me just riding out into the sunset. I don't see that yet. It has been a wonderful 40 years, I must say. No regrets, no complaints.
A bittersweet day for a leading insurance company that has been a staple in the Grand Bahama community since 1980. After serving the company for over 40 years, the branch manager officially retired. Here's Megan Shepard.
In many ways, like a fresh beginning. It's not an end.
Former branch manager of insurance management, James Carey, officially closing the door on one chapter of his life as he is entering retirement after 42 years of service to the organization. Carey says he was assigned to move to Grand Bahama to open the first branch outside of New Providence in 1980, with only one other employee and himself.
We have grown to at high times in Freeport to excess of 30 employees. We're a bit less than that now, but these are the times we live in. One of the things we always prided ourselves on, which is perhaps the reason for the success we've had, has been customer service. We never boasted of being the cheapest guys in town, because that was never the dictate of our founder. His dictate was always be the best, and that's what we tried to do.
Carey says he has made countless friends throughout his time at the company, and he expects those to last a lifetime. Carey shares how he has witnessed the industry change and grow throughout the years.
From a consumer standpoint, the advent of competition has certainly been advantageous for the consumer in Grand Bahama, and it certainly made us in the industry hone our skills to be more competitive.
Staff at the company say Carey will be greatly missed, as he was a very caring manager. After 4 decades of service, he says he knew it was time to transition and pass the baton to the younger generation of leaders.
After 41 years continuous service, and there are certainly capable young people around me, sometimes it's good to just step aside and let the opportunity flow wherever it flows, and that's been part of my consideration in making this decision.
Now, although Carey is retiring from insurance management, he says he will always be available to the company, and he still plans to keep busy in other areas.
And as we head to the break, we take a look back at today in Bahamian history. On July 2nd, 1962, Bahamian women began registering to vote for the first time in the colony's history. Also on July 2nd, 1965, groundbreaking ceremonies were held for the construction of the Salvation Army's new administrative and welfare center on Mackey Street.
John Crowell Jones and the Connecticut Sun back in the win column last night, taking down the Indiana Fever 86-80. The Sun built a big lead in the first half and then went on cruise control. A pretty modest game for JJ, 19 points and 4 rebounds. These same two teams play again tomorrow night. Danielle Thompson has been named to the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference 50th Anniversary Women's Tennis Team. The former Morgan State tennis player was selected by media representatives, sports information professionals, and fans. In 2018, Danielle was first team All-Conference, the Conference Player of the Year, and the Conference Championship Most Outstanding Performance. Congratulations. And William McCartney Jr. picking up a doubles title at the HIDIC regional event in Guatemala. Competing in the under-14 division, William and partner Marcus Cordoba from the Dominican Republic won the final in straight sets 4-2 and 4-2. The bottom of the net Summer Sizzler basketball tournament taking place this week at the Hope Center. Organizers just happy to be back on the court.
Back in 2018. And so, we had the pandemic break, and so we're starting it back up for 2021. We have 45 registered teams in the various divisions. We have 5 divisions, which is the U15 boys, U17 boys, the U20 boys. We also have the open men, and we also have a girls division. The event is scheduled to go for 3 days, but because of the weather, we're looking to extend it by another day. So it should end on Sunday, championship games.
Are you ready? Because after the break, we are closing out the week with Landlord.
One, two, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah. Okay, producer number 2. Now, before we get into our entertainment, name 3 islands with settlements called the Bluff, Landlord.
I would say Andres.
Well, the winner today is Melanie Knows. You know, Ladon?
Yeah, Andros. I think Andros, Eleuthera, and Cat Island.
Oh, okay, well, the winner today is Melanie Knows. And yes, you were right, Cat Island, Eleuthera, and Andros all have settlements call the bluff. And she can pick up a prize today. Melanie knows this nice Bahamian school bag.
So landlord, talk to us a little bit about what have you been up to lately?
I've been busy, I started TV and radio and doing really, really well all over the world. And I just released a song called What This World Is Coming To in November. Due to, what I saw was going around the world, a lot of people have forgotten God and, they have lost their moral, and I've just released another song with Isabel Davis from out of the U.S., Stellar Award winner, doing really well on the charts, and I'm just keeping myself busy,
You've been writing, so you've been writing these songs, or are you collaborating?
Yes, I've been writing, and I have a few more songs that will be coming out really, really soon, so you guys watch out for it.
Well, I heard that mic check earlier, so let's hear the song. I know the Bahamians want to hear it. Let me tell you, it's good.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, what this world is coming to. This world is coming to. No love for the Father. No love for me and you. What this world is coming to. This world is coming to. No love for the Father. No love for me and you. Remember the days when we were our brother's keeper. We borrowed rice, salt, and even butter. But now our hearts have gone cold. We worshiping murderers. We following politicians and making them our master. So what this world is coming to, this world is coming to. No love for the Father, no love for me and you. What this world is coming to, this world is coming to. No love for the Father, no love for me and you. Only what is done for the Father should last. All material things should fade away and go to the past. So put your trust in God and He will see you true. Don't let material things will you true. Whoa, whoa. So what this world is coming to, this world is coming to. No love for the Father, no love for me and you. What this world is coming to, this world is coming to. No love for the Father, no love for me and you. Foxes have holes, birds have nests, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. This world is in a mess. They don't believe in God no more. They have disrespect the Father. And soon, and very soon, they're gonna face the Master. So what this world is coming to,